Definitely live, 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 live. Woo, I'm so nervous. How about you?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but this is what I do. Oh my goodness.
Why is the volume so low?
Is it? Let me see if I can turn it up. It should be. No, it
It was
should.
fine when we was backstage. Now it's low on your end.
I'm low to
Now
you.
you're fine. Boom. There we go.
Okay. There we
Okay.
go. There we go. There we go. Um, I am hoping we're not live on the other platform.
On the what? On the other platform.
Platform. Yep. Let me see something.
I know I'm hungry. It said I thought you said the popcorn. Lord Jesus.
You greedy.
Lord help me. So how do you see when people start coming on? Do they start popping
It's
up?
a window and they're not popping up. That's why I think the other stream is on. And I tried to cancel it. I'm gonna go on my Facebook and see what's happening. It's saying this live video should start soon.
All right, somebody just popped up in the chat.
Hey, Miss Me. Hey, girl. Glad to see you. We're gonna wait for a couple of people to come in, but I'm so glad to see you, sis. Um, yeah, so how's everybody's day going so far?
Girl, I'm about ready to go to bed. That's how the day goes. It is hot. The weather did a complete 180. Yesterday it was beautiful and sunny. The day before that it was 83 degrees, and now we dealing with all this rain.
Yes, yes, I know. I know. It's a lot. Everybody's weather is a mess. Is a mess. Um,
Still waiting for some more folks to get up in here. Get up in here.
yeah, let's wait around. Let some folk come on in. Um, Let me just check and see. Okay. Hey, Joy. Yeah, let's wait around. Let some folk come on in. Okay. I can see it on my phone. I can see the chat on my phone, but it's not over here. So I'm wondering what's going on. I think we're in two different platforms. On in. Let me just check and see. Okay. I can see it on. Okay, it's showing on the other screen, and I don't know how to get people over on this screen, guys. So we have some technical difficulties because it is showing up on another screen in Facebook. Okay, it's showing on the other screen, and I don't know how to get people over on this screen, guys. So
All right, so
give it
on
one.
that other screen, you're gonna have to mute it so that way we don't hear the, you know, all the
Like,
background noise because you just hear yourself lagging.
okay, hey guys. So I can't see everything here. I have to see. I can only see. I think YouTube on here, and then that's what's happening. Hey, sis, ray of sunshine. Hey, kiss me, girl. I can see that Diane is here. Hello, thanks for joining us. Um, Quilla, thank you so much for joining us. Jasmine, my girl Joy, thank you guys so much for being here. So I want to start off by introducing my girl Dolly the coach. This is my girl. We have been friends not that long, but for about 2 years. We started out in our life coaching program together, and we have been connected at the hip ever since then. So I have her with me for some support, and so that we can talk about how we as women honor ourselves. Dolly, what do you want to say? Introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm Dolly. I am the coach with zero structure. No, let me stop.
That's you.
I'm a clown. I'm just clowning. I'm just clowning. Uh, Yeah, I'm just here to shoot the shit, man. Let's talk. Let's talk some stuff. How can we as women honor ourselves? One, showing up.
Showing up for ourselves. Absolutely, girl. Showing up. But listen, the question is when we say we have to speak in less broad terms. So showing up for ourselves, what does that mean? What exactly does it mean for us
Uh,
to show up for ourselves?
be consistent and honor what it is that you set out to do.
I agree. I agree. One of my biggest things is that we have a hard time honoring ourselves because we're so worried about what everyone else is doing. And I just believe that one thing we need to do is stop comparing ourselves to others. We do that all the time. And when we do that, we're setting the honor to them instead of giving it to ourselves. So for me, I think that's one way. Also, showing up for ourselves, being true to ourselves, all of that is important. All of that. Um, so when we're talking about showing up for ourselves, not comparing ourselves to other, why do you think we're comparing ourselves to other? Because I think that's a big issue in dealing with women. Like we're constantly comparing ourselves to each other. What do you think about that?
I think that's a part of human nature to be competitive. You know what I'm saying? Just something that we automatically do because I think even though it's a messed up way to think, you kind of want to place yourself and where you're currently at above where someone else is, as opposed to you just trying to compete with who you were yesterday, right?
Right,
Which would be a better way to gauge whether you're succeeding at it, what it is that you're trying to do, or whether you're failing. Instead of
right,
going off of someone else's rhythm, go off your own rhythm.
right. Dance to your own tune,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Phyllis says, yeah, stop giving the power over. And that's absolutely right, Quilla. We give our power over by not, because we don't honor ourselves. So we often do that. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Daniel. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Also, insecurities. A lot of us are so insecure. And it's just, woo, you see it so much. So much.
And where does that insecurity come from, you think?
You know what? I believe it comes from, hey, Twana, hey, sis. I believe that it comes from a lot of times our upbringing, um, or what has been instilled in us in terms of a belief system. And, but mostly, and I always say about the belief system because a lot of times we spend half of our adulthood trying to find out what our real values and morals are because we are really living with our parents' set of values and morals. So
Mm.
I always go back to our belief system and finding out what our true beliefs are, what are our morals, what are our values, what is it that we really, when we think about a consciously complete individual, what values does that person have? If you put yourself in that place. Um, so Joy says, I know that's right. Hey, Tanya. Hey, girl. Hey, Dorothy. How are we today? Thank you guys so much for joining me because you guys have no idea how nervous I was to do this. No idea. I was over here shaking. So I am so glad that you guys are here to join us. Um, you know what? I want to really talk about in honoring ourselves and giving ourselves the best of everything, something that comes up for me is letting go of toxic people and being okay with yourself. Because so many of us are surrounded by toxicity, and then we feel guilty when it's time to let go. We feel guilty. So let's dig in. Let's talk about the toxic people around you. Um, Miss Me with the Bullshit, my sis. She says insecurity comes from learning that some things were taught that aren't accurate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Glad you're here. Oh my God, my sis from the Discord, they all came through. I love you
I
guys so much.
see.
I love you guys. I
The
love you
support
guys.
people. Full throttle. Go ahead, y'all. I know that's right. Y'all been
I
support
love my
that.
people. So let's talk about why do we feel guilty when we're trying to get rid of the toxic people in our lives? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Because we always feel like we could fix somebody. How about
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead
But
of allowing people to, you got to separate yourself from that or to jump on you. Other people, demons tend to latch on you because they know when you got that spirit,
right,
of giving, the spirits of healing, they know, listen, baby, that demon will jump right up on your back, honey. And then you
right.
just be just as toxic as them, and then you passing that on to somebody else. You can't fix everybody. You gotta pray for them, get that to God, honey. They ain't got nothing to do with you. My
Nothing
favorite
at all.
move is block.
But that's my thing. Hey Leah, thank you so much for joining us, Leah. Um, so you know what? I have no problem releasing toxic people from me. I have no problem at all with that. But can't get it up. So Ray of Sunshine says, "Woo, child, that is my downfall. Always putting toxic people first because they have a way of guilting you in it."
Ain't it?
Absolutely. But at what point? But at what point, as women, do we decide that we are that we value ourselves enough and our own feelings of security to not allow toxic people to be in our lives? At what point do we say, "I deserve better"? At what point?
I think that all depends on the individual. I
Yeah,
think there's a lot of people till this day that's probably like in their 50s and 60s that still deal with toxicity. They don't know how to cut it off because no one has taught them that, right? That's also something I think that's taught. When you see an example of someone cutting out toxic people in their life, you know how to follow suit. You know how to do the same thing. But when you see people that constantly deal with toxicity, how do you know how to get rid of it if you haven't been taught so?
absolutely, absolutely. But so, so then again, I'm gonna go back to what your belief system is, because if you value peace in your life and there's a toxic person there, we have to find a way to be okay with releasing that toxicity from our lives. Ray of Sunshine says, and it's even harder when it's your close family. And I agree, because most of the time the toxicity is coming from our close family. How do we deal with that?
You know what's crazy? I have a harder issue cutting off people who are not my family. And that's probably a bad thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because, you can't choose your family, but you could choose your friends. I think I have a harder time cutting off friends because I honestly, I don't know why. Um, I don't know why. When it comes to family, I'll do it like nothing. I'll act like you don't even exist. I won't pick up your phone call. I won't text you. If you text me, I'm not in a rush to get. I don't know what it is. There's a different. I think it's a different case for different people. Some people have a hard time cutting off toxic relationships when it comes to them and their significant other. You know,
Right,
and
right.
some people don't. Some people will be like, well, they crossed this boundary. They did something I didn't like. I didn't agree with. It's not aligned with my belief system. So I'm asking them. And then some people just stick around, and it's like you just don't know how to just let that go.
And that comes with living in your own truth and believing in what decisions you make, to trust yourself enough to make good decisions. Joy says yes, no guilt. They have got to go. Okay. Um, Diane says because we know them for so long, and that's absolutely true. Um, Quilla says guilt and feeling sorry for others. Lisa says separate is a must. And I agree with that. We definitely have to separate ourselves. Hi, John. Welcome to the live. Dorothy says, get rid of toxic baggage. And that's what we're trying to figure out. How do we do that? Do we just say, you know what, I've had enough and let go? Because for me, I have had toxic people in my life, but depending on where you are in your life, sometimes you don't even realize they're toxic because you yourself may be a little toxic. Let's talk about that. Miss Me says, I feel that there isn't a time frame. The barrel is deep. Rock bottom can take a moment. Hello,
Yeah,
hello, hello, hello.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and um, Miss Me with the Bullshit says, right, at Ray, family taught us how to be toxic. Um, and that's the honest to God truth, because like I said, most of who we are has been formed from childhood. But at some point, we have to move away from whatever has happened in our childhood in order to push forward. I mean, this is my thing. At what point? Hi, Miss Simmons. So happy to see you. At what point do we stop blaming things on our parents? At what point do we take accountability? Is it when we're in our 30s? Is it when we're in our 40s? At what point? Because I see a lot of women in their late 20s and 30s, and they still don't have it halfway together. So how do we handle that?
I think once you're old enough to acknowledge that that is a flaw that you don't want or burden you're not willing to bear anymore, that's when you start taking accountability of your actions because you already know that it's there. That's like if a person, if somebody said, "Hey, I didn't know that I'm not supposed to name in vain," and then they find out that it's wrong and why it's wrong to use God's name in vain, and then they continue to do it. It's like now that's willful ignorance. You're doing it with the knowledge that you're not supposed to, and that is wrong, right? You
Right,
have
right.
you're already acknowledging that this is something that's wrong. Now you have the choice to go work on yourself or you don't.
Or you don't. So Dorothy says, I agree. It depends on the person. Quilla says, when you are able to embrace yourself and your true purpose. And this is the thing. Leah says, when you begin to self examine, you learn that everyone is not meant, um, to go along on your journey. And that's the absolute truth. So that goes back to toxic people and understanding that people come into your lives at a particular time and to serve a particular purpose. And it's up to us to know exactly when that purpose and when that time is over. Because a lot of them don't, a lot of us just don't get it. We just don't get it. And the clock is ticking. So I can tell you now, I'm 53, and I mean, I didn't mean to say that, y'all, but I can tell you that the
What
clock
you
is
mean?
ticking.
Embrace that.
That slipped out. Um, so the clock is ticking, and we have got to get it right now. Ray of Sunshine says, like I watched my mom have resentment towards my granny. Oh God, we do that all the time. And yet she was always at her peak, beck and her call. And now that my mom is older, she thinks I'm supposed to drop everything for her regardless. That's toxicity at its best. And when
And you
we
gotta set
know,
them boundaries, baby.
say it again, darling.
You gotta set them boundaries, yo. They not gonna like it. But what's more important? Your peace, your sanity, or
Yes,
trying to coddle them in their fragility. Uh-uh.
that's right. That's right. Daniel Toby says you have to understand your role and level of responsibility to that person and also understand what is healthy and unhealthy. Listen, that says it in a nutshell. That says it in a nutshell. And a lot of people have a hard time because it is members of family that are close to you. But regardless, self love means that you take care of self first so that you have enough to go around. And if we don't take care of ourselves first, if we continue to put other people's needs and wants in front of our own, we will never get to the point where we honestly begin to honor ourselves. And that's the purpose here. In order for us to become empowered as women, we have got to start honoring ourselves, which means putting ourselves first, which means letting toxic people go, which means facing your fears. And sometimes facing those fears is the fear of releasing that toxic person from your life. What do you think about that, Dolly?
And I would ask, what does that person bring to your life that's of value that you're
Right.
so scared to lose them? Like, what are they honestly offering to the relationship? Whether it be a friendship or with a significant other or a family member, what are they bringing to your life that is of serious value that you're scared to let them go?
Right. And that's why a lot of times we have to really do the work, because just the words that you just used, letting go, sometimes people have a difficult time letting go. And that goes back to figuring out why. Some people have no problem letting go. Some people are like, you know what, you're not good for me, goodbye. Whereas other people will hold on and hold on and hold on. So it's important, but the thing is we have to work on ourselves. And ladies, I think that's the biggest thing for me is, and which is why I like to work with women, because I like to make sure that we are a group are empowered, that we can take care of each other, and we should take care of each other. It there should be no doubt, there should be no competition amongst us unless it's healthy competition, and we have to talk about that at another time. But we should really look out for each other. We should become a support system for each other, and that means listening to each other, and that means sharing the experiences that each of us have, because everybody has something to offer. Everybody.
Yep.
Miss Me with the Bullshit says, as a woman and a mother, I feel I would have benefited from having a woman to woman conversation without having to stay, hello, in a child's place at 38 years old. Hello.
Ain't that something?
That language, stay in a
Ain't that
child's
something?
place. The language.
That's toxic 101. Stay in the, what does that mean?
What
Stay
does
in
that
the house.
mean? What does that mean?
How long are you
Um,
supposed to stay in that place? Is what I'm trying to ask. Because I feel like a lot of the conversations that we should have been having with our parents early on, they probably weren't equipped to have those conversations with younger children because it wasn't had with them, right?
right,
A
right,
lot of our failures when it comes to being able to communicate our disappointments, our curiosities, so forth and so on, is because we didn't have these conversations at home.
hmm
There was a lot of things that was lacking in the home. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm speaking specifically in the Black household. It's
hmm
a lot of conversations that's not being had between, specifically between mother and daughter.
hmm that we
And
should
that's because their mama didn't have a conversation with them, and then their great grandmama or grandmama ain't had a conversation with their mama. So it's
absolutely.
like, even when you want to break the cycle, you kind of don't have the blueprint as to how. So you're left to figuring things out on your own, and that causes a lot of error. But like with anything else you're trying to build on and grow from, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. You got to
Absolutely.
learn how to communicate better.
Tanya says they did the best they could with what they had. And oh my God, we know that. We absolutely know that, but it's still embedded in us because some of us start out, I know I did, start out raising our children under the same principles that, for me, that my parents raised me under. And by the time I had my second set of children, I sound like I got a whole lot of children. By the time I had my second set of children, so I got a bunch. I realized that that wasn't the way that I wanted to go, and so it was up to me to fix that. And if we don't get it that our parents did the best that they could, we will not be able to forgive and we won't be able to move on. So the sooner we realize that, I love that you said that, Tanya. The sooner we realize that, the sooner we can start to heal, because a lot of us are living and moving about life with anger and resentment because of what we went through with our parents. And understand that we as parents are going to want our children to forgive us for something in life.
Right.
So we have to get to a point where we forgive and we let go and understand that they did the best that they knew how. Because if you know better, you do better.
That's right.
Right. Miss Me with the Bullshit says, if I question mom, I'm out of line. I'm not allowed to call BS on my mom's decision maker. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ray of Sunshine says, it's no shame, but therapy has helped me tremendously with my own traumas and with my relationship with my mom in particular. Let's talk about that. Because
Yep.
in our community, therapy is almost non-existent. There's a stigma attached to having to have someone help you out. Um, as even as a coach, one of the hardest things that Dolly and I go through is getting our people to understand it is okay to ask for help. It is okay. And it's okay to have someone to help hold you accountable and help you get through some of the things that you need help getting through. And it's the stigma in our communities. How do we start to trust somebody, anybody? How do we start to trust and ask for help when we need it?
And that's my biggest thing is I feel like our people just lack of a lot. Like us, anybody for anything, with anything, especially our vulnerability. We just can't let that go. And it's really to our detriment a lot of the times. I mean, it's okay to, um, how does that benefit you? How does that allow you to, when it comes to
Oh, your sound is going in and out. Can you hear us good?
am I in now?
Oh,
I
there you
hear
go.
you.
There you go. Okay, go ahead.
So
So
it's kind of like you stagnate your own growth in that sense. When you don't open yourself up to a lot, you don't open yourself up to other people's perspectives. You don't open yourself up to the possibility of you being wrong. Sometimes it's a lot of things because you don't trust how people are going to handle you and handle your emotions, and we just clench up. You know, it causes us to be on a constant defense with things instead of just saying, you know what, I don't want to be strong today, and I need somebody to just lift me up.
absolutely. Miss Me with the Bullshit said, in the Black community, therapy is looking to the Lord exclusively. And you never told a lie there. You never told a lie there. And that's a lot of our problems. That's a lot of our problems. That yeah, listen, I firmly believe in God. I firmly believe in prayer. But I also believe that God sent therapists and coaches on this in this world so that we could get the
It's
help
for
that we need
soldiers.
sometimes. So but it's true. Hey Clarence, welcome to the chat. Joy says change is a choice. Change is a choice.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So go ahead.
It changes the choice, just like you, uh, you being angry is a choice. You
Mm-hmm.
being upset, mad, frustrated, all of that is a choice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people could work on your last nerve. How you end up feeling at the end of the day is completely your choice. You could have the choice to just brush it off and be like, you know what, that's them. They trying to pass that off to me, and I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna let them take me there. Or you can engage with that emotion with them, and now you're aggravated too. It's a choice.
It's absolutely a choice. Um, Joy says, I chose to raise my children differently than I was raised. And um, a lot of us have done that. Thank God that so many of us have realized that things had gone wrong in our life. And instead of being resentful, we were able to take those things and turn them into a positive. So that's important, Joy. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's important. Um, so I have a question. I have a question. And
Shoot.
my question is, how do we support each other, and why is it so difficult for women to support each other? Why is it so difficult? Because a lot of these things we can help each other with, but we don't because we don't have that sisterhood that we should have. So how do we strengthen our relationships in the community amongst women so that we can at some point begin to honor ourselves?
Well, from my experience, it's not hard to support for me. It's not hard for me to support other people. I do it quite easily. It's nothing for you to purchase your friends' things that they're selling, share their videos, share their content. It's nothing to do that. Where I think the block is one, you don't know how to take constructive criticism or you don't know how to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to say things and for it to be received in the way that it needs to be received. And it has to come from a place of you really want that person to do better and not from a place of um, jealousy because that
Mm-hmm.
person may have came up on the idea that you liked and you're mad that they, you know what I'm saying? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
oh, I know what you're saying. Um, and it's true because we deal with, and it's, what I realize is that when there's a situation, this is how I look at how hard we are on ourselves. There was a particular situation in the YouTube community, and what I noticed was the women were so quick to jump on another woman because of her looks. And and if we're doing that to each other and saying that a man doesn't want his wife because she's dressed a certain way, what are we saying for ourselves? How do we expect anybody to treat us differently if we're so hard on ourselves? um it frightens me when it comes to seeing how sisters don't band together. And that's why when you get a sisterhood, you hold on to it. You hold on to it as tight as you can. Um, but the hardest thing to me is seeing women not support each other because I feel like we are a power force in itself. And if we come together and support each other, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. Nothing at all.
And stop thinking everything a daggone scam. That's what we do too. Every time somebody come up with something, some new business, and we venturing off and trying to think like a boss should think, and not trying to be up under somebody behind. Not saying that something's wrong with having a job, a 9 to 5. It's not wrong with that. But when people are innovative and they want to come up with ways to financially support themselves and be financially independent, don't think that everything is a scam. That is like a nail in a coffin. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying that's the equivalent of saying in Hollywood that a black woman is difficult to work with. Because
Right.
now everybody that's looking at this person gonna think, oh, they was doing some scam stuff. And it's
All
not the case.
all the time. Dorothy says, "Well said, Miss Dolly."
Oh, what I said.
Oh God, you got somebody that wants to get it on from a male perspective.
What happened?
Somebody wants to join in to get it from a male perspective. And y'all know, I don't know how to work this name. Tell them, Dolly. Tell them how long it took me to get you in. I will
Baby.
get you on the next one, Clarence, when I learn how to work this system. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna call it what it is. I had moments, but
Hold
Dorothy,
on, read that comment real quick.
which one? Oh, being vulnerable as a black female. This is coming from Mrs. Simmons. Being vulnerable as a black female is considered a weakness. The term strong black woman is more of a curse than uplifting.
And it's crazy because that's literally what it is. And you know what's even crazier? It's even worse for black men. They
Yeah,
can't feel nothing.
no,
And you wonder why they got all this pent up aggression
that's
because you, as a child, you're telling them stop crying, be a man, square your shoulders up, fight, don't let him punk you. If you hit him, if he hits you, you better hit him back. And if you don't,
right.
I'm gonna hit you. This is all stuff that we dumped into our kids early on. You gotta let
Early.
them feel. It's a natural emotion. If they feel like they gotta cry, let that boy cry.
Let them cry. Let them
Okay?
cry. Absolutely. But even with the women, um, this is the problem. even when we are doing what we know at home and we're, being the disciplinarian, we're working, 10 to 9, we are cleaning, we're cooking, we're taking the cars to the shops. And then we come home and our men are angry because we've done it and we made it look easy. So this is a circle. This is a circle. This is a circle. And we've got to find a way to fix it. But I say, as women, we do it all. And so the struggles are real in terms of us taking care of children, working jobs, running businesses, doing everything. We're cooking, we're cleaning. Listen, some of us, not all, but we have a lot of responsibility on us. And because we have so much responsibility on us, we absolutely have to start taking care of ourselves. And once you start taking care of yourself, meaning honoring yourself, starting to really fall in love with who you are, then the job will become a little easier.
Yeah. You got to form a relationship with yourself. You got to learn your likes and dislikes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what's
Mm-hmm.
pleasurable to you and what's not. And I don't mean sexually. I mean, what do you like to eat that makes you happy? You know, what's your
Right,
favorite drink? Who's your favorite friend that you like to be around that lifts your spirits?
right.
You know, what type of conversation do you like to engage in that is not a downer? You know, sometimes you call out one friend and you trying to get your spirits up and they just say something to bring you down, 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 and now
Yes,
you down in the gutter with them. You know,
right,
that toxic relationship we talking about. You have to literally learn to fall in love with everything about you. Rediscover things that you forgot about yourself.
right.
What are some things you love to do as a kid that you didn't get to enjoy as an adult because of circumstances in life?
And do it and not feel guilty that you've done it. Because
Right.
this is the thing, when we go and get our hair and nails done and we leave our children for an hour, we feel guilty. Taking care of yourself, you should not feel guilty. It is so important to take care of yourself. And that means, if, listen, to be a real listen, I don't have young kids at home anymore. But when I did, it was so important for me to get 2 or 3 hours to myself. Lock my door. Listen, y'all go do what you got to do. Give mommy a minute to breathe, because without that minute to breathe, we are going to fall apart. So um, we have to know that we have to take care of ourselves first. And that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about honoring ourselves as my very first live, because it's so important. It's so important that we start to honor ourselves, and more so than that, um, to start trusting in each other. Find yourself a sisterhood where you're good, a platform of women that you can trust and that you can be yourself with. And then through that, you can start to heal. Find yourself a good coach to work with you, to hold you accountable and what area you need. And if a coach isn't what you need, find yourself a good therapist. Um, and
Counselor,
just
psychiatrist, something. Stop
something.
walking around here damaged and then damaging other people. Please,
Damn
no.
other people. Yes. Ray of Sunshine says, right, because as a minister and life coach, there's no way I could do anyone a disservice by saying therapy isn't a good idea. And this is in response to Twana Yvette's comment that she was a minister and she advises therapy, and in some cases, a psychiatrist. So she
Right.
said it's a God given gift to be a therapist. Absolutely. I totally, totally agree. Um, Dorothy says we are a race that do not support each other, and we have to start there. Absolutely. Um, Dorothy again says, if our black men do not support our black women, then how can we expect otherwise as far as our women are concerned? And this is why I feel that we as women, we have to honor ourselves first, because we can't begin to worry about the men until we start to take care of ourselves. And that means, because a lot of this means trusting the man in your life to have your back 100%. And you can't do that if you're not fully honoring yourself. You can't really trust people unless you fully trust yourself with the decisions that you've made to put this person in your life. So I believe that we have to definitely work on ourselves first and foremost, because the better you are, the better your children are, and the better the people around you are going to be.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that also goes for the men as well. They have to learn to the same way we have to learn to love ourselves. They got to learn the same thing. You know, they grew up, and some of them grew up in broken households too. And I don't mean you grew up in a household where there just may have been one parent. It may have been two parents, but it was a toxic situation,
right,
and they're just mimicking what they saw. So you can't expect all the time for the black man to have your back in the way that you expect him to if he grew up in messed up circumstances just like you did.
and chaos,
You
right,
know, this is why it's not necessarily okay when people date young and marry early and all of that stuff, because it don't always turn out to be good. You didn't even get to learn yourself yet.
right.
You know, and the main thing that probably bonded you two together was y'all pain, was the dysfunction that y'all both was going through, and you
Right.
ain't get a chance to learn what it is that you like,
Mm,
growing into yourself as an adult.
right.
So I think we all have to do better as a collective, but also as individuals. Get
I,
the individual together first, then we could come together as a collective and support one another. When you look even back at our history and the things that were stripped from us and how the household was broken up, we was we didn't have that structure, right? Until when uh there was eras, we had little spurts where black families was together, we was making money, not just Tulsa, Oklahoma, but there was other cities and towns where we had our own, and it always got broken up. There was always something in the middle of us coming together,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
And then how I like to reference it, because I'm an 80s baby. When crack came, that was it. That was it. Like, where was the black household? I'm from the Bronx, born in 85. When I was born, if you seen a black family, it was like America.
Mm-hmm.
You
Listen,
know what I'm saying?
you was born in 85 and I was graduating high school in 85.
Well, damn, you ain't had to say that. We ain't need to tell the folks.
Listen, it's
Own that.
okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm owning it now. I'm here. But that's the truth of it all. But what you're saying is so true, and it just speaks upon where we came from. So it's no surprise we are where we are. But I just want our women to understand where we came from. But it's never ever too late to change anything. It's never too late to get down in the bottom of the wheelbarrow and start working on you, whatever that takes. If it means reading more, if it means therapy, if it means just talking it out, finding a friend, whatever it is. And it means to take one thing and start working on that one thing. You don't have to do it all, because if you try to do it all, you're going to drive yourself crazy and
Hello?
you're setting yourself up for failure. We
And
don't.
extend some grace too, man, to
Yeah,
yourself.
ex- exactly. Validate what you have done, because we tend to focus on, oh Lord, I didn't do this right. Oh Lord, I didn't do that right. But what about what you did do? What about the progress that you've already done? Enigmatic opinion says, oh, this is juicy, lots of gems. Oh, we're just getting started. We're just getting started because we're gonna do this again. Um, Dorothy says Bronx all day, baby steps. Absolutely, absolutely. Baby steps, one day at a time. Um, thanks for showing up, Mr. Information Man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, so listen, what I want you guys to tell me is, what do you think that we can start to work together as a sisterhood? Do you think that there is a possibility that you can honor yourselves more? Do you feel that you should honor yourself more? What we gonna do?
I tell
What
you
we
this: if you don't think you can honor yourself more, you's a fool. Listen, baby, if you ain't, who the hell is? Who is?
exactly, exactly.
Let me tell y'all something, okay? when people say, just lean on God and pray and pray and pray, God ain't make you no fool.
Right.
Because
Right.
prayer without works is dead. You have to get up off your behind and make change.
Yes.
You can't sit there. You think all them freedom fighters and all these civil rights leaders just sat there on their knees and pray? These people done got bust upside the head with
Right.
rocks,
That's
beat
right.
up, hosed down, like shot, lynched. They did a lot of things to just for freedom, just to say I'm equal, I'm a human. What
Right.
you think you gonna have to do to free yourself of your mental chains,
That's
of
right.
your emotional chains?
And it is mental. Most of it is mental. And the problem is that if you keep telling yourself the same story over and over and over again, you're not going to get out of it. And we tend to say, "Oh, woe is me." Yeah, oh, woe is me. But how are we going to fix this? Um, Tanya says. Tanya says. I lost your comment, Tanya. She says, "Keep the lines of communication over." Um, Uplifting each other, and this is what we are going to have to start doing. um Definitely. So I'm not
How
going to hold
about we
you.
got we got to stop talking about it and be about it? How about that?
Absolutely. Stop talking about it and be about it. Miss Me with the Bullshit says, absolutely, by any means necessary. Okay, and I get it. I get it. Okay. um so I am not one to yeah, I do sugarcoat a little bit. But when you get to know me, I don't really sugarcoat anything. So I just think that a lot of us need to stop with the "hey, woe is me" attitude and start putting in the work. Start putting in the work, taking care of yourselves, putting yourselves first. Um,
Start
you
with the
know,
excuse.
yeah, that's what we have to do. And it doesn't matter whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is start somewhere, because think about it this way. If you're 60 years old, what if you got 20 more years to live? You want to live those 20 years in the same misery that you lived the past 60? No. So let's start taking care of ourselves and start honoring ourselves a little bit more, and doing the work. Dorothy says, wow, emotional change is powerful. Absolutely. Tanya says, just do the damn thing. Okay. Dorothy
Yeah.
says, and no more pity parties, ladies. I get it. No more pity parties. Let's just do what we have to do. Hey, Latoy, thanks for coming. Let's just start doing what it is we need to do. um and big on my list is the support of one another, listening to each other. And you'll be surprised to know how much we all actually have in common when you start talking to people. And this person has gone through exactly the same thing that you've gone through. So start opening up the lines of communication and have be able to talk to people. Let go of the toxic people in your life. Just let them go. Trust in the process and let them go. That's it. Period. Boom. Bye. Let them go.
And
Let's
that's something I had to learn from you. Cause listen, I am a person who gets emotionally involved with people that I work with because I believe in people that much. I don't like to see people give up on themselves. I don't like failure. I I low key despise it. I don't like for people to say, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then it's like all of a sudden they fall off the map, fall off the radar. I am too invested in seeing the success of my people, and it irks my soul to see people give up. Like it really bothers me. And other people they'll be like, "Oh well, it's just business." You can't get too involved in people's journey. I'm not that like I love to see my people win. It is the bombest shit ever.
But we
I
talked
love
about
to
this.
see that.
Talked about this. You can't want it more than they want
and
it for
and
themselves.
that's the problem, is because I could see, as a person who's innovative and can see the finish line before that person even gets there. I already know the victory they got set out for them. Just follow through. Why is that so hard for people to do? And that's what bothers me. Just follow through step by step. Nobody's asking you to jump hurdles. Nobody's asking you to jump 4 hurdles at one time. Just
Right.
put one foot in front of the other and get
Get
it
it done.
done.
Get it done. Leah says, I'm often looked at as being selfish because I put me first. Who gives a damn? Put, this is the problem. Put you first. Like, if you don't take care of yourself, who is going to take care of you? And once you start taking care of yourself, then you can give to others. But I really don't care because I put myself first as well, Leah. And it took me a while to get there, but once I got there, there's no coming back. There's no coming back. I don't have a problem shutting myself off for 3 days in a row and don't come out of my area. So it's the best thing that you can do for yourself as far as I'm concerned. Um,
Amen.
Joy says everyone's path will be different. Find someone you can truly trust who will be honest with you and put in the work. And Joy, that's important because sometimes your closest friends are not honest with you. They won't tell you the truth, and sometimes you have to go to strangers to hear the facts because your friends are scared of hurting your feelings. Or let's face it, some people you think are your friends, they really aren't your friends and they don't care if you succeed or not. Um, so absolutely. So I think we're going to tie this up because I said we weren't going to hold you guys for more than an hour. For more than an hour,
It's
and
been an hour already.
almost it is almost an hour,
We got
and
8 more minutes.
we have 8 more minutes. But I don't want to hold you guys up because I am so appreciative of you guys showing up on a Sunday. We are going to do these talks, not we, because Dolly be busy or whatever, but I'm sure when she can, she going
I'll hop on.
skedaddle on over here with us. But we are going to do more of these conversations because I'm all about empowering women and I want to see as many of us succeed as possible. Um, I just do. I just do. Dolly,
Amen.
give us some.
I absolutely second that. I feel like as a people, our potential has always been there. We have proven to be great. History has shown us how great we are. There are kids today who are savant geniuses, and we have to nurture that. If we don't nurture them, our future is going to be grim for real. If we don't help each other, that whole sense of a village. You know what I'm talking about, Carol.
I
I
know.
always talk about this. That village got to be tight. We
Take
got to come together. We got to adjust each other's crown when it's off, and not out of I know more than you, I'm better than you, but out of love.
out of
You
love.
know, you see your neighbor down. You know when stuff ain't quite right one day. Check up on them. See if they need help with something. You need me to go grocery shopping for you right quick? You tired? Go ahead, go take a nap. I got you. Just tell me what to get. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Just extend a helping hand. Stop being so cold, baby. Ain't nobody do nothing to you. That
And
person ain't sleep with you last night.
listen, supporting one another. I was on a live one night, and it was a brother that came on that live, and he gave so much information, and it's like it almost took me aback. I was like, well, what's his purpose? Because we don't share information with each other, even though it's not going to cost us a dime. We just don't. We don't do enough to help each other push forward. There's enough in the bowl for all of us to take some and there still be some left over. We just have to start helping because the more you help, the more you helping yourself, the more you give to others. Miss Me with the Bullshit says, can we do this again, ladies? We will absolutely do this again, Miss Me, because I'm having a ball. Information Man Show says, powerful conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much again for coming in because this is my first. This is my very first. But I'm thinking about coming on every Sunday, is what I'm thinking about, probably at this time, with some really good conversations. Because I'm all about the empowerment. I'm all about the positive, not about the negative. Um, and that's what it is. So I think we are going to end. this live. I want to thank all of you for coming in. Leah says she's singing Reach Out and Touch. I'm gonna do that to y'all, but she's singing. So let's sing, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if we can. If I could sing, guys, I would.
I'll be acting like I can sing, but I know I can.
I would leave it out with that, but I can't sing. Tony Yvette says this was good. Guys, thank you so much for coming,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you next Sunday, probably same time, same place. I'm gonna get myself together with these cameras and all this good stuff. But thank you guys so much for coming, Dolly. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me on your first live ever on
Who
Snaps.
else?
We
Who else?
moving
Who else?
to big things. Guys, I want to leave my information in the chat so that you guys know where to follow me.
Yep.
Hold on one second. This is my thing now. How do I see? That's the private chat. How do I leave an actual chat? Hold up.
Oh, wait. Well, I can give. What you want to
You're gonna
give?
have to put it in.
I think so. What you want to give? Because I don't know how to do all of this.
Just give them my Instagram.
It's Dolly the Coach. Dolly
Z Coach _85.
Okay, so wait. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
And y'all can also visit my website, www.dollyzcoach. That's with 2 E's, not one. dollyzcoach.net.
Dolly the Coach _85, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there is Dolly's Instagram, and you gave your Facebook.
They don't really need the Facebook. That's just
okay. So I will have to type it in, or Dolly can put it back on. See, Twana, we're gonna have to talk because or Dolly can go back to her. You don't have a YouTube page. Okay, so we're gonna figure it out. I will put it. I put it there, so it should be good.
I see it. Yeah.
You see it? Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna end. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you on the next one next week Sunday. Thank you.
Bye, guys.